G'day guys, Tools20 here, welcome back to Mile Bay. In the last episode we built our regional airport and I put it to you guys whether or not we should expand on this thing, add some extra runways, couple of terminals, that sort of stuff. But look, most of you guys were pretty much against that, just want me to keep it the way it is, which I'm kind of happy about because I do like the way it looks at the moment. And I do agree, making it any larger than it is will look a little bit strange compared to the city. I mean, this is the size of St. Marie, and I don't think it's going to get a huge amount more expansive than that. We've got Cape Lewis up here. It's still also on the small side of things. So I think this actually fits in pretty well with the current size of our cities. I do think, though, we will add some sort of cargo terminal, and I don't really know whether or not that's going to have its own separate runway. I think technically they do, but I don't know if I want to add another one. But you know what? That is next week's episode. Today we are going to tackle a couple of problems. One of them should be fairly easily fixed, and the other one not so much so. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm just going to keep an eye on this. What are you doing? Go on. Land. Please land. Touchdown. Okay. All right. That is fantastic news. So this was actually one of my problems. I just was not getting any aeroplanes landing, and I ruled it down to two things. Number one, I thought it was mod related, that I'd somehow broken the airport using maybe move it on something I shouldn't have used it on, or anarchy on something that has maybe changed the way it functions. I think I can rule that out now because an aeroplane did land, which means it is not broken. So, I believe the reason why I'm not getting any aeroplanes is most probably to do with tourism and public transport, which is, I'm going to be honest, the fun method. Like, I'd much rather work on tourism, public transport than trying to fix it because I've broken it somehow. And look, there's actually just not a huge amount in terms of tourism down here. So tourists also visit parks, but there isn't just a huge amount in terms of parks either. I mean, Cape Lewis has a fair amount, but there is no public transport out this way, at least connected to the airport. If you want to get to Cape Lewis, the only way of getting there is via our train service, our passenger service, or by driving, and that's not going to help tourism. But I don't know. If I was you, I would not drive to Cape Lewis because it is bumper to bumper, and you get tolled along the way, and it's just a bit of a mess. So we do need some sort of public transport getting over there, and I think the best way we're going to do that is through buses, because I think that's going to be a nice, easy way of getting from my airport all the way out there. We actually got a really nice connection. Oh, you know what? No, we don't. Last episode, you guys did point out that I was missing 2 ramps. So let's start with that. 2 ramps. The problem is that my ramps are going to really mess things up. I need this road at the moment doesn't connect up to our airport, so I do need to connect it up here, and then it also needs to connect to this road, which is the easy one. So let's actually do that. Let's do the easy thing first, and then we'll have a bit of a think about how we're going to connect up the rest of it. Oh, can I just do that? You know what? That's not too bad. So since we've got our farmland over here, I'm going to get rid of the trees that sit within the interchange just there, and I'm going to theme the rest of this area, I should say landscape the rest of this area with the same type of landscaping as the rest of the interchange. So we can do that, which is our gravel landscaping, and then just using Move It to just grab some of the trees rather than having to search through. Using Find It, I can actually just select them like that, and yeah, there we go. And this is truly not going to be pretty, so I think maybe shield your eyes to this because it is not gonna end well. This is already a very ugly interchange, particularly for the very entrance of a airport. We did say that airports try to make fairly nice looking interchanges as people come into our cities. Not this one. This one probably scares people away. What I'm gonna do something similar to this, and it ain't gonna be good. That is one ugly looking interchange. I mean, you definitely wouldn't build something like this right at the front of your airport. We are kind of doing the same thing over here as this guy, but I mean, it's not good. We do have this little opening though. I did say that I did want to put something else here besides just another big lot of trees. So we do have a bit of a space. I don't know, like a centerpiece maybe for the airport would be kind of cool. Actually, you know what? Maybe the airport DLC gives us some stuff. Let's see what's all at the end. Okay. So I could put an aviation museum, but I do need to reach some more levels. We do have some planes. Oh, I can actually place a plane down here. Ooh, okay. This is all right. Maybe I place something like this. Okay. And then I could continue that gravel landscaping. I could get rid of it over here. Can I raise this up? Like, if I was to raise it up and put it on a pole, would that work? Okay, the land raises up. Oh, but that's not too bad. I could put some sort of garden below here. That way I can cover up that box as well. You know what? Maybe just nothing. No paint. Just white. Because it would be disused, so probably wouldn't really need any sort of paint job. Although we could do something similar to what the paint job is on the airport. Alright, let's just see how that looks. Go for a red. Let's see. Maybe more like that. Does that work? Yeah, I think it kind of does. I like that. Sweet. All right, so we've done that now. We've connected up, being pretty ugly. Plop that thing, not very ugly. And now it's time to really test this out. Let's try some public transport first, and then we will add in the tourist destinations after. Let's go with the easiest one. Not exactly public transport, but a taxi depot is definitely essential. And I am going to place one here, but you know what? Let's go around here because we do already have a bit of built up area. I feel like this is the area that the airport is expanding into. We'll just drive a bit closer to that parking lot, and then we'll do some taxi ranks. Oh, I don't know if I've got enough room. I mean, some probably there, but I can't place them. I could place one there, but that's where my parking is. I guess these are already bus and taxi areas, so maybe the taxis will automatically wait there. I don't know about that. So yeah, okay, I'll just place a couple of taxi ranks maybe on either side. Maybe I'll place one there and then the next one there. While I'm adding taxi ranks, I'm going to place a couple more in the busiest locations of Mile Bay. And then we can't forget Cape Lewis. There's plenty of spots in Cape Lewis, so I'll probably do a few of them. And then one in our train station. This whole area needs a bit of work. I've actually got some plans for that. So there's a few of them. Actually, probably should put one out in Minai as well, because this is a pretty nice little beachside town. Although I don't think it has much in terms of tourism, so that's definitely something we should increase. And I'm just a bit mindful of the houses here and the noise pollution, so maybe not one down there. And then even another one really close to our airport, just because I think this is going to be the place where we're going to need the most amount. And hopefully that way we should see a fair amount of taxis being used. Yeah, fantastic. All right, so we are seeing a lot of taxis being used. Obviously that hasn't changed anything in terms of aeroplanes. I believe though, if we start adding in some buses, that should definitely do the trick. So I'm going to just keep it all bus shuttles, so airport shuttles that are going to be the main thing at the moment. I am going to place one out now. We'll go from departures and then we'll go all the way into St. Marie because I do already have a little bus terminal down here, so we can connect them up pretty easily. So that goes directly to town, and I'm just going to go all the way back. That's as much as that one's going to go. Articulated airport bus. I don't know what that one is, so I'm gonna add a couple of them. They sound kind of nice. School bus, get out of here. I was going to add another line for departures, but I think I'll make it on the same line, and the bus can just do a loop. So we'll pick up the arrivals and then do a loop and then pick up the departures. I don't know, probably not that realistic, but I think that will save us dragging out a whole nother line. But speaking of another line, I will place another one out, but I actually would like to put a couple of these terminals down first. Just because I don't want to just place them on regular stops. I think that they will terminate at these locations. And the most obvious one would be out at Cape Lewis, because this is, again, a pretty bustling tourist city. So definitely needs some sort of bus terminal. Look, I mean, I think right next to the train station is probably the best place. And look at all these people catching the train. So it obviously is something that we desperately need. This would be the best spot. These things make quite a lot of noise, and it's only just sort of touching these guys. So I think that'll be the best spot. So we'll move out these guys. Sorry guys, off you go. I decided to put a little bit of work into this area and just detail it up just a smidge, not too much though. I mean, it's not the nicest area and I kind of wanted to keep it like that, but definitely needed a little bit of extra details. I've also done my bus line, and I mean, it's working really well because we have now just tons of planes landing. Now, apart from taxis and buses, I don't think I'm going to add any more types of public transport to our airport. Not by choice, but mainly because I'm sort of forced into it. The next one I can place is a train station, which I think is probably the next option, something that I could possibly do, but I have to reach a level 3. And that means I do need to push up the attractiveness of my airport, and that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to get to 1,000. Some of the things that I have to place down to reach that is, I mean, the bus station would help, but I actually don't think it's going to, I don't know. I don't feel like it doesn't really work here. I could put in a metro. Actually, that doesn't even improve the attractiveness, but I could do a metro, but that would be the only metro station in all of Mile Bay, and I just feel like, I don't know. I don't think it really fits. I will eventually place down a fuel station. We will place down a couple of airport lounges. Actually, no, I'll probably do that now. But in terms of anything else, I don't know if I'm actually going to reach that milestone. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But in the meantime, I can place down a couple of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable anarchy. I'm going to turn on collisions. Yeah, I don't really trust it. I think these airports are a little bit temperamental, and I think you have to be a little bit careful with how you use those mods. I reckon right on the corner here, or maybe dead in the middle. You know what? Dead in the middle is pretty cool. Why don't we do that? I'm going to remove maybe another one. Probably should have just moved it. Yeah, actually, I totally should have just moved it. There we go. That can go in the middle there. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And then I now have access to these medium-sized stands. So I'm going to place a few of them. Of course, there's no room. So this is why we're demolishing some things. It's going to be a little bit imbalanced, but I don't know if I got room for 2 of them. Let's just destroy him. I really hope I'm not doing anything that I'm going to regret. And then, I don't know, like that. Or like this, or like here, or like there, or like this. Let's go like... really not in love with this, but I'm just going to leave it because I do want to see how it works. I do want to see medium-sized planes, but I think we might need to add just another little corner over here potentially instead. I mean, we are going to expand at some stage, so maybe we just sort of expand when we get there. When we do all that cargo stuff, but at least that's there. I'm going to drag out a less frequent airport shuttle that's going to go down to Minai, because again, I'm going to turn this into a bit more of a tourist destination. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just drag one around here, and then we'll head back up to our airport, and we'll do the same loop, and then we're going to head over to, we'll go out to Cape Lewis. Now, I'm actually going to jump into a time lapse pretty shortly because I would like to work on these bus lines. Only 4 buses on that line. I don't think it needs any more than that. But at the moment, yeah, we do need to work on Minai. Just change a couple of buildings. I reckon give it a tourist district will definitely increase the tourism happening over there. Yeah, we'll do one of these ones. I'm going to drag out and place down some more of my ferry terminals because I actually have no ferry stops. I got 2, but they're not even turned on. And then I'll probably do a ferry service going all the way out to Cape Lewis. So if people want to get out that way, they can as well. But before I do that, before I jump into a time lapse, I'm going to do something that I rarely, very, very rarely place down. We'll just give us a little bit more space to do it. And I'm going to place that maybe like there. And I'm just going to leave it like that. But yeah, we've got a few things to work on. So let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to be doing is placing down a couple of ferry stops. I'm trying to place them in areas that are going to be either high residential areas, so a lot of people wanting to get around the city, or places like destinations where people want to go. So I think that this area down here is probably a spot that a lot of people are going to want to get to. We'll be placing down a couple of unique buildings so that, you know, we actually got reason for people to get out that way. And also some commercial districts too. So I figured that would make for some good ferry stops. And looking out at Seaton, I mean, I was about to place one out there, but I just sort of felt like it would be a bit of a stretch. There is mostly holiday houses around the waterways, or around the ocean, I should say, but not really much of a need for a ferry stop. But maybe we'll place one down there. I don't really know at this stage. I sort of thought I'd just leave that one for now. But Cape Lewis, absolutely. I think that's a great stop. Hopefully people will actually use it. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people are going to be using our ferry service, but that probably ties in with reality anyway. I don't think a lot of people really catch ferries unless it is the fastest option. If there's like a big body of water that does stop people from getting one place to another, and if other modes of public transport aren't going to be a viable option. But I guess there is no denying that ferries are always going to be the more scenic option, at least majority of the time. You know, I would imagine I would definitely choose a ferry over a bus or a train if it was going to take a similar amount of time. But I guess that's somewhat rare. I can only think of one place there's probably a couple of cases within Sydney, which is where I live, where catching a ferry would actually be a pretty similar amount of time. Actually, I take that back. There is a lot of cases where catching a ferry is a lot faster than relying on any other public transport, within Sydney at least. But I guess within city skylines, the distance of your cities, like this, because they are so scaled down, I think other modes of public transport are always going to be a lot faster, unless there is like a massive body of water that really changes things. Unfortunately, within St. Marie, there isn't anything really like that. There is this one, but it's not, I think like it is still faster to drive and to catch other modes of public transport. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It's not so bad seeing, not that many people catch the ferries. But this area we are working on. I wanted it to be a little bit more of a significant place with a bit of commercial, and also I'm trying to mix in a little bit of European architecture because we are taking inspiration from New Orleans, where there is quite a lot of French architecture, and I really wanted to stick a little bit of that within our city as well. Not really so much anywhere else within the map, but this city, Cape Lewis, St. Marie, I'm always going to do that, does have a bit of European architecture. I mean, not so much French, but it's a little bit hard when you are just using vanilla assets. I could download some, but with the European assets of the vanilla game, they're pretty good buildings. There are some gaps and there are some areas where I, definitely would much prefer to see some, some better ones from the workshop. I think trying to make it work, I think it kind of works. We have done a little bit of detail around there too, and I did also place down a cinema because, like I said, I did want people to be trying to get to some of these unique buildings and to be increasing a bit of the tourism within our cities. But unfortunately, the money situation does let us down. We are spending a lot of cash, and that airport is not helping things at all. So yeah, cash is a bit of a problem at the moment, but that's fine because we will have to do an episode where we do focus a bit more on making some money. I mean, we probably need to extend out and even connect up our industry just a little bit better, so I will be doing that. Actually, you just saw me place down some unique buildings because, I mean, they are absolute money makers, but you do have to make sure you got the warehouses around or some sort of industry as well. I've also just extended the city into the farmland, which I felt like probably needed to happen. We needed a little bit more of population growth, and I figured that farmland is definitely a prime spot to be taken over. But I don't know how much more we're going to spread out. Like, I think that we're probably pretty close to the city limits. I don't know. We'll see how we go. I mean, I don't know how many more episodes of Mile Bay just in general. I probably should talk about this at some stage. Maybe now? Maybe a little bit now. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about it now. We're getting pretty close to the end of the series. I mean, it feels like we only just started, but really this series is about 6 months old now. So, it's getting on. And I think I've pretty much built everything that I really wanted to do. Of course, we've got a couple of episodes to go, but I mean, in terms of what I wanted to build and do in this series, I feel like I'm pretty much at the stage where it is how I wanted it to be. And I only wanted this to be a shorter series. I didn't want it to go on for, the size of what Marble Mountain was like, or Oceania is still going very strong. But this one was always going to be a slightly shorter one. And I think the way that I have expanded this, we built the places very early on within the series. And I think that is just a much better way of building. I actually have really, really enjoyed having a completed area very early on within the series rather than, get into the stage of it complete at the very end of the series, which is sort of the way that we do operate. But I don't think from now on, I really much prefer this way of building. But a couple more episodes to go. So, just a little bit of preparation there. Maybe we'll do some driving videos. I feel like there's some nice areas where we could do a couple of road trips and, a little bit of exploring. And I don't know, if we got some ideas for some finishing episodes, let me know. I have a couple of ideas of things that I want to do in the last couple of builds. But this is the last thing we're going to be doing, I think, in this time lapse. And what we're doing is I wanted to convert this area into a bit of industry that is on its way out. And when I say that, it's an industrial area that probably is no longer really used. It's probably outdated and in the middle of being gentrified, and you can see there's a marketplace there just to add a bit of tourism in that area. I mean, the tram line goes right next to it too, so I figured that would be a good spot for a bit of tourism. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of vacant lots and some parking spaces, but it's some pretty old industry, so that'll be kicked out at some stage. And then, turning Midnight into a bit more of a tourist destination to finish off our time lapse. So let's see how everything's rolling and jump back into a live play. It is a little hard to tell, but Mile Bay is now super connected with public transport. We've got a very extensive bus network and a train service and ferries and a tram network within St. Marie and pretty much everything in between. There's a couple of things that I'm not going to be placing down. We're not going to do a cable car or a monorail or even a metro. I don't think will even fit within Mile Bay. I think we're going to probably keep it at that, with the exception of some sort of tour. I think that would be quite nice. Maybe even just something, I don't know. We've got a couple of options. We might do some of them when we are making some real money, because at the moment we are losing a lot. Every now and again we make a bit of money, but it's quite rare and it's just not enough. So we'll have to work on that in the next episode. But speaking of money, let's spend a bit of money, because we do have a bit of a problem down here. So we do have that extensive bus network. However, we don't really have the greatest... What is going on down here? Oh man, we can't have that happening. You should not be there either. So at the moment I've got every single bus network terminating here, or not even terminating, but stopping at this spot. And that's fine because we do have a pretty bustling hub of public transport here, and it is probably the most, I don't know, this is the destination where most people are heading. However, I don't think every bus needs to go here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create another terminal out here towards the airport, out of the city, where we have less less stuff going on. We do have a really nice, not nice looking, but we do have a big old interchange over here, which is going to provide a good access to the highway. And I think that this would be the perfect spot for another terminal that's going to serve for where I think the majority of buses from Cape Lewis and Seaton and Morgan and all of our towns around Mile Bay, I think they should be going to this one rather than going to the one that's within the downtown, because that is already a very busy area. In fact, just looking at the public transport, you can see that it is a bit busy down here. It's not too bad, but there are areas where it is very heavy. I think we can divert that traffic to an area like this, and then buses will also go from here down to the downtown. So I'm going to use this one more for aesthetics. I mean, I could probably use one of the other ones, but I actually just really like this. I think it's a pretty sick looking bus terminal. It's nice and big, and I think it fits in with an area like this. The ferries, of course, aren't always... I mean, we don't usually see a huge amount of people using it. Maybe a couple, but not a huge amount. But our train lines, absolutely. I mean, that is the preferred method of getting around town. And something that I have noticed, though, is that we're not ever really going to see many people using this stop down here. I think there is just a faster way of getting between the cities, but I don't know, I'm just going to keep it there. Maybe, you know what, let's just do something a little bit sneaky and see if it changes anything. But let's make these guys prefer ferries. I don't know, maybe that'll change things. It might not, but we'll just see what happens. And then in terms of next episode, I think if we're going to focus on money, I reckon we should probably get a little bit more industry happening. And in particular, I would like to work on some of the services that are going to help the industry really thrive. So we're going to we'll put down our port. I know that costs a bit of money, but I also think it's going to help get cargo in and out of all of Mile Bay. Yeah, it's going to cost a bit of money. And we'll also detail up our harbour, which I am a bit torn about. I don't even know if I'm going to keep it in the first place, but we'll just wait and see about that. But yeah, industry. I think getting industry a little bit more around town, I think is going to help out. And I'm just going to say it now, but we might even work on the industrial side, the cargo side of our airport as well. So we'll just see how that goes. But that's it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. It is very much appreciated. If you've enjoyed it, then leaving a like helps out the video. And if you want to follow along as we continue to build Mile Bay or any more of my series, then hitting subscribe helps you to keep notified and keep on watching some stuff. Big thanks to the wonderful people supporting the channel over on Patreon: Salmon V, Chris Truddle, Alexander Ben Mbarak, Kian Mag, Albino Machete, Sherrisville, Big393, Anthony Gagalani, Charlie Van der Kerkhoff, Daniel Bryant, Ryan, Roger Davies, and James Barber. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!